Hi, I'm Wendy Studis, First Selectman of the town of Simsbury, and this is After Hours with Wendy and Friends. I want to open by asking you to let us know how we're doing here. If you're enjoying this show, if you're finding it interesting or boring, please reach out to SEM. And if you have any good ideas for people you'd like to see or hear from, or any topics, we're open. We do have a few coming up, but any ideas are great ideas. So today we are talking to our Culture, Parks and Rec Director, Tom Taberski. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Wendy.
I love having you, Tom. I do want to say a couple things about Tom, that I have him in my phone as Ron Tom Taberski Swanson, just so I always call him, and we always talk about Parks and Rec. One thing I remember about you is that when I was first sworn in my first term, I had a quote by Leslie Knope. Half the audience didn't know who she was, but you sure did. So let me just open with that. Do you have a favorite Parks and Rec character?
I would say Ron Swanson.
Okay.
I just like the whole funny take on local government.
It does.
And the fact that he hides his money in the woods and under trees. And
but you're not like him at all.
No.
I was going to say nothing like him. I have to say my favorite character is Tom Haverford. I just always like Tom and whatever her name is.
I like
Donna.
the treat yourself. Treat yourself. We do. I try to do a treat yourself day every month or so.
Love it. But it's just funny to watch that show and see what really happens behind the scenes. So big question is, how did you find yourself in Simsbury as the Parks and Rec Director?
So I initially, when I went to college, I wanted to do athletic training. So I was following a sports medicine kind of track. And after the first year, I kind of realized, well, maybe all the biology classes weren't for me. I like science, but it wasn't for me. And so I had transferred to Springfield College and was going to get into again, kind of going to athletic training, less sports medicine doctor, and they had a recreation management major there. Oh. And my first job after my first year of college, my first summer job was working as a camp counselor for Granby.
Okay.
And I absolutely loved it. I talked to the park and rec director over there if I could intern with her or work in the off season, and got involved in the office and special events in the off season, and it kind of found my calling, so to speak. And so that's how I ended up there. I did, when I graduated from Springfield, I was hired to continuing to work for Granby. I worked for a private program in Windsor running after school programs and their summer camps, and always wanted to come work for, hopefully work for Simsbury, and a job opened up, and I was hired in the beginning of the summer of '99 and stayed until 2011 when I left to become the recreation director Parks and Recreation Director in Granby, and kind of left with the thought that I would be able to come back here as the director at some point, and that was the whole idea. My mentor Jerry Toner and First Selectman Mary Glassman at that time said, if this is something you want to do, you need to leave and get that experience elsewhere to be able to position yourself to come back. And it all worked out. When Jerry retired, I submitted my application and went through the process, and feel very fortunate that they selected me to kind of pick up where Jerry left off.
Yeah. So what year did you come to Simsbury as Parks and Rec Director?
2018. It was actually 7 years ago last week.
Okay, so it was right before I got on the board. I didn't get on the board of selectmen until November of 2019. Yep. But that's really cool. That's a good story that you went off to get the experience and then to come back. Yeah. So one thing, I've interviewed Tom Roy, and we kind of went through the departments that he managed and what they do. So I thought that would be a good thing for us to talk about, right? So the first thing I'm going to start with as a 9-holer is the golf course. Yeah. Who runs it? How do you manage it?
So the Culture, Parks and Recreation oversees Simsbury Farms Golf Course, all the programming at Simsbury Farms, as well as the parks maintenance and open space areas in town. Our golf course has a unique setup. We have a golf superintendent who supervises 3 full-time employees, a mechanic, assistant superintendent, and a maintainer. The superintendent is Brian Johnson. He came to us about almost 10 years ago at this point as the assistant superintendent under Mike Wallace, former superintendent Mike Wallace. Brian does a fantastic job, really knows his stuff. He's been all over the country working at golf courses. And the staff, we have 2 of our maintainers, the mechanic and the maintainer, have both been with us for over 35 years, one almost 40 years. So it's a pretty knowledgeable staff. They've seen the course grow over the years. They've seen the department grow over the years. So they're always able to kind of give some background when we're making big decisions.
How about the pro shop guys
and
gals?
And our pro shop team is fantastic. I mean, people they're like one big family up there. John Varengia is our head golf pro. He's been there since 1999 when I first started with the town, and then Karen Balley's been with him almost as long, and Mark Fisher's the other assistant pro. And they've had a number of part-time helpers as well. It's a unique arrangement with the town. It's been very successful for the successful endeavor for the town over these 53 years that the town has had the golf course. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary at Simsbury Farms in 2022, coming out of COVID. So we made it a big year to do a lot of events up there. But it's truly, I think the Parks and Rec family at Simsbury Farms is a family, and we're proud of that, and everybody works really well together. And what we do is we take a lot of pride in people enjoying this facilities and seeing the improvements and making sure things don't get stale.
Yeah, there's so much up there. I mean, and the golf course is obviously gorgeous.
Absolutely.
People come from all over to play there. So let's talk about your park superintendent.
We have 11 people full-time people who take care of the town's park system, parks and trails. They're led by Orlando Casiano, who has been with the town for 37 years at this point.
Oh my gosh!
We have a lot of people who truly love their job and have really made an impact on the town. But Orlando oversees a staff of 10. And supplemented with some seasonal help during the summer, some local college kids who will do some of the tasks as well. But they do everything from lining ball fields during the summer to mowing grass. They just last week went up and down the 7 miles of the greenway in town and mowed and trimmed back all the branches and the growth, the vegetation that comes out. They'll be the ones out there blowing the leaves off the trail come September, October, and November. They take care of the ice rink and the pools, and just a fantastic group of people who take a lot of pride in, and their kids. A lot of them are local, and their kids have played on these ball fields or have played on the ball fields as they were growing up. So they know what it takes, and we get a lot of feedback from not only our local sports groups, but the ones who come into town. They constantly tell us that our fields are some of the best in the
Wow,
in the
that's
state.
Really good to hear, because you don't always hear that. People give a different slant
It means
sometimes.
a lot. It means a lot to them when they hear that. They it kind of puts a little extra bounce in their step, and like I said, they take a lot of pride in what they're doing. We all do. And
didn't Orlando win an award recently?
He did. He was the Parks Maintainer of the Year in 2023, I believe, for the Connecticut Parks and Recreation Association. It was quite an honor. I mean, they get quite a few applications every year for that, or nominations for that. And Orlando's years of service, the impact he's had on the town, the recent projects he had helped us bring to completion. I think that it was a nice feather in his cap.
Great.
To be
He's so knowledgeable, so nice,
yes.
always so helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else do we have? Like, who else staff-wise?
So we have Krista Yard is our administrator at our. She does all of our bookkeeping, scheduling, kind of keeps us all on task at the rec office. And then John Tebow is our longtime recreation supervisor. He will be retiring in August after almost 39 years of service with the town. And John is for the most of his career with us has served as the coordinator for the ice rink and the Simsbury Farms and Memorial Pools, among other things, with special events and programs at Simsbury Farms and all over town. And then our newest, even though she's been with us for almost 3.5 years, Katrin Heisman is our program coordinator. And she helps organize all the day camps, the tennis lessons, the pickleball lessons that we do. You'll see her at a lot of our special events, the town cleanups, the concerts in the park, and all of those kinds of things. And she's been a great add to our team, and just a fantastic person in general, and a real passion for what she does. And I hope we'll be able to keep her as long as we kept John.
Yeah, she seems like a good long-term person. And she'll be at the ice cream social tonight. I guess. She
will be. Yep, she'll be one of the volunteers, as you will be as well, and some of your colleagues on the board.
Yep.
It's always a nice event. This has probably been going on for close to 50 years as well. It's kind of one of those small town traditions that we've got generations of people we'll see who've there'll be grandparents tonight bringing their grandkids, and they remember bringing their kids here, and we get the ice cream from Meadow Farms, and it's really nice. The Simsbury Community Band will be there doing a concert at 7 o'clock tonight, and playing the patriotic music, and while everybody's enjoying an ice cream sundae.
Good way to
it's a great summer event.
Week off. Well, just like the other big event that I always think of is the skating party with Santa. right before Christmas.
Yeah, that's always one of we do a great food collection with that for the food pantry. So we're kind of restocking that after the holidays when a lot of people have taken advantage of that offering. And yeah, hot chocolate and Santa on Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve. I mean, what could be better?
And I was going to say the Touch a Truck event, it was kind of fun. A few of us from the board went, we got to sit in and try out some of the equipment that we helped fund. So that was fun. So how about anybody else on your team? We missed anybody? Any areas?
No, I think we have a number of instructors who are residents. They teach yoga classes or tennis lessons, and they're all valuable parts of the team, and they all do great jobs at what they think. Their classes sell out, which is fantastic. And then we work closely with the library, Simsbury Social Services, the highway parks, buildings and grounds in the highway department, and even things like the engineering department when we're trying to get either pickleball courts built or improve a field. Everybody in town, all the town departments really have a lot of overlap and work great together to make sure we're doing the best job we can for the town.
Well, that's really good, that back and forth between all the departments to make something work, to make a project work.
Yeah.
So you see that a lot. So one question I have is, what is your favorite part of the job?
So this is an easy question. I have a little saying. I really enjoy being out in the field, seeing the program, seeing the kids at camp, being at the special events. I always say to people, that we're in the smile business, and if people are enjoying the event or the kids are having a good time playing capture the flag or it's the last day of swim lessons and they move up a level and they're walking out of the building with a big smile on their face. And I always say to people, if I see a lot of smiles, then business is good, and we know we're doing a good job, and that's kind of really that kind of gives you your purpose. Yeah. And to me, that's what it's all about, is helping improve people's lives, giving them an enjoyable experience. Our former golf superintendent used to say we're in the memory business as well. We're about making memories, and those things stick with you.
I'm trying not to remember the golf round I had on Tuesday.
Short-term memory.
Hasn't been that good lately.
You and me both. So.
And we actually played together in the Friends tournament. Hopefully,
we didn't play well together.
We did not. But we hope to do that again this year. Yeah. I think that will be really fun. What is your hardest part of the job? Is it asking the Board of Selectmen for money?
No, I appreciate the relationship we have with the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen and town administration. Honestly, that's not the hardest part. I mean, I think I'm pretty passionate, and if I really believe something, I think I can present a good case for those. Honestly, the hardest part of the job is, or sometimes the most disappointing part of the job, is when you really put a lot of time into planning a special event. I'll use an example. When I was in Granby, it was, I think, the 30th or 35th anniversary of Back to the Future being released. It was some big anniversary. So we spent almost a year planning this great special event. We had a 50s band on the stage. We were going to show Back to the Future like a movie in the park type of thing. It turned out to be a beautiful, I think, late August, early September evening, and no one came.
Really?
It was the same night as the Willie Nelson concert at the Simsbury Meadows. So I don't know if that took all the people, but we were ready for probably 2,000 or 3,000 people to show up, and we maybe got 300 or 400, and we put a lot of time. So to keep myself humble, I have a poster. I have the movie poster or event poster in my wall in my office. It's directly across from my desk, and it's a little reminder that things don't always go your way.
Yeah.
I mean, you could hit every beat and make everything perfect. But sometimes it just doesn't, it doesn't hit, or for whatever reason, it's just, I just use it to keep me humble.
Well, how about the 350th anniversary? You guys had so many events planned, and it was COVID.
We had a volunteer committee of almost 25 people. Different organizations were planning events, and then of course COVID happened, and we turned into the 351st and the 352nd. It took two or 3 years, and we had such a dedicated group of volunteers who went out and raised a lot of money to do events, and we were constantly evolving, constantly changing on the fly, and we did have a bunch of events that were well attended. I mean, we did movies in the park where we had people had to space themselves out, and we ended up doing a fireworks show, and lots of ideas about that. But it was yes, the things like that are hard. You want as many people as possible to enjoy what to share in the enjoyment, and really have that that community feel. And those events bring people together. Of course, not everybody can attend, but they're great chances to interact with the public from our standpoint, to show off the facilities to the town and make people, remember why they moved to Simsbury.
So one thing, my daughter, because we went to one of the movies on the PAC that was outdoors, and I don't remember what we saw.
Raiders of the Lost Ark was one of them, I think.
Yeah, and she said, "Are they still doing those?" Because we loved it. Yeah. We had such a good time. Are you still doing those?
We didn't do one. I don't remember why we didn't do one last year. I think it was an event schedule thing. We certainly something we would consider again. We may do one on the Terrifield Green at some point this year or next year. But yeah, I know when I was dealing with the PAC, the Performing Arts Center staff previously, it's something we had talked about.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that. We just thought it was so cool. It was like that blow up screen kind of thing. Yeah. That was really good. So I was going to go through a few projects that we have going on, either happened, maybe coming, right? The biggest one that we've all been waiting for over 3 years, which is when we first got the American Rescue Plan money and designated it for pickleball courts in Terrifield. We were going to do really great concrete, long-lasting ones, and then turns out we were in the floodway, right? So we couldn't follow that. So tell us where we are today.
So yeah, I'm excited. This project has basically come to completion. We have 6 new pickleball courts at Terrifield Park. For those of you who don't know where Terrifield Park is, if you never had the pleasure of going over there, if you know where the Cracker Barrel Pub is a landmark. It's just down the street from the Cracker Barrel Pub. And there's a softball field there, and of course the 6 new pickleball courts and a picnic pavilion. It's located right along the Farmington River. But we opened those pickleball courts up about 2.5 weeks ago, and they are used constantly. Yeah. Big crowds over there. Pickleball is a game that can be played with 4 people it's typically played with 4 people on a court. So if all 4 courts are busy, there's 24 people playing, and typically in the morning hours, when it's most busy, there's 2 or 3 groups still waiting too.
And you cycle in
rotate
too.
in. Yeah. So you could, we're bringing a lot of people over to that part of town, which is great. I think it's good for the businesses. It's good for people in the center of town because people have to drive through the center to get there. Yeah. And it shows, pickleball is a growing sport. It's a trend that's been growing across the country for quite a while. So we're meeting a need for our residents to, giving them an area to play that's safe. The old courts that were there before had become too cracked to allow anybody on them anymore, and they really needed to be rebuilt. We hope to be able to replace the pavilion over there and do some improvements with a small playground and parking. As the government sorts things out and gets floodplain mapping approved, we'll be able to move ahead with those projects. The boards had already approved funding for some of those. Yep. So we're excited to move forward and continue that park improvement. Okay. But it's great.
Yeah, we're hoping to get out there after we finish talking here. So at the farms, we have the pool, we have the rink, we have the playground, we have tennis, paddle, pickleball, golf course. Yeah. Those are right now fairly status quo.
Yeah.
As far as projects.
The newest, biggest improvement is obviously the Gulf irrigation system that was installed. That was almost
$3.1 million.
2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
Okay.
But that irrigation system should last the town about 30 or so years, maybe longer. The outdoor basketball courts were installed in 2018 with lights going on them in 2020. And the new playground at Simsbury Farms, which has gotten great reviews, was opened in December of 23. We're working on plans for golf course, clubhouse, and restaurant area improvements. We hope to be able to bring that to the town or complete that project in the next 4 to 5 years, we hope. There's a lot of work and a lot of planning that's got to be done for that. A lot of financing, which we're working that out. Yes, for sure. The Friends of Simsbury Farms is going to be joining us to fundraise for that project, and so that would be a big improvement up there. But the town has also funded some improvements at the ice rink to keep that ready, that facility fresh for a new generation. We're talking, mostly it's behind the scenes mechanical improvements. Okay. But as that facility is built in '99, facilities age, and you got to maintain them, and you got to replace important parts, and that's what the town has generously has agreed to help fund those and keep the rink open. Yeah, so
I'm an ex-hockey mom, since my son was age 6, which was like 96. And a lot of it started up at the farms, at the rink, and there was no indoor warming room, which now is at the end. We used to sit in that side room and freeze or stand on the ice. And the dressing room, the kids used to put their skates on in the basement room where the vending machines were.
The fireplaces.
Yeah. So it's really come a long way over there. And we recently just opened the Flower Bridge. Now you maintain the Flower Bridge.
My staff maintains the new park over there since the park was reconstructed in 2022, 2021-ish. Hot Brook Landing Park it's a beautiful spot. So we work with the old Drake Hill Flower Bridge Committee to help maintain that. If there's any minor repairs, our staff does those to the decking and things like that. But the bridge was closed last year for a major renovation where it was reinforced and it was completely repainted in the original color back from the 1800s. And brand new bridge deck was installed, and we've just recently reopened that with a ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago.
Which was filmed on SCM.
Just a fantastic project for the town. We get calls about the Flower Bridge throughout the year. People in December want to know when it's open, when are the flowers going in, can they have a wedding there, or other small event. And we just had a concert there last week. On last Thursday night, we had a small jazz concert there. The weather wasn't super cooperative, but people came out for it. And we'll be doing another one at the end of July as well. And those events have been, it's a nice way for those events, for the town to come see live music in a really cool place. And then, of course, the Burgers on the Bridge event, the annual fundraiser for the old Drake Hill Flower Bridge Committee, will be held on Wednesday, September 10th. So that's breaking news there for you. Wednesday, September 10th, and that's their biggest fundraiser of the year. And burgers, ice cream, desserts. They'll have some beverages for kids and adults there as well. And it's kind of a really cool fall picnic. Usually held in June, but this one is going to be September.
Well, I have a wedding 3 days after that, but I should be in town for the 10th. The other things that you have is the dog park. Rotary Park is under your domain.
They are, Rotary Park Playground. That's a project we're actually looking at. That playground has been around for about 20 years now, I think 2006. A lot of the parts on that are aging and won't be able to be replaced very soon. So we've already started meeting with the Rotary Club to do fundraising, talk about fundraising and long-term plans for that project, hopefully replacing the entire facility within 4 years or so.
Really? The whole, everything?
Everything will need to be replaced, because once you start digging up that poured-in-place surfacing, it becomes uneven and it does wear out. So that's going to be a major project for the town. The Simsbury Paw Meadow Dog Park just had their first fundraiser a couple weeks ago. It was a fantastic event. Erin Brett is the new dog park manager, volunteer. She's doing a fantastic job of rallying, putting volunteers back together. The dog park is supposed to be maintained by volunteers, so they do a lot of the work themselves. And so the money they're raising is, they pay for their trash collection, they pay for the waste bags. They're going to be paying for new amenities for the dogs to play on, and should there be needing to be major repairs to the fencing or anything, that money goes toward that as well.
Yeah, I took Mabel for the first time there because I'm leery of dog parks, but we went to the fundraiser and she had a really good time. All the dogs were friendly, and Erin really is doing a nice job. So you maintain the Curtis Park soccer fields, correct?
Yep.
There's some talk going on there. We actually have a public hearing at our next board meeting to talk about Simsbury Soccer Club wanting to kind of get exclusive use of that and put money into it. And we want to hear from the public. Yep. Right?
That's going to be at the next board selectment meeting. I believe it's July 16th.
14th.
14th?
Yeah.
So
the 16th is the ribbon cutting.
The ribbon cutting for the Terrifil Pie. I had that date for some reason. The soccer club has been using Curtis Park they're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. They're hoping to do a major improvement. They're going to be starting, if the town can come to an agreement with them, they're going to start fundraising this year for a major improvement project, which would include parking, a pavilion, a concession stand, improvements to the turf fields and permanent lighting there, all paid through funds that they would fund. It wouldn't cost the town anything. It would be money that they would fundraise for. And the project would likely be done in phases. It's not all going to be done at one time. It's a significant amount of work and a significant amount of money that they need to fundraise as well. But so the town and the club will be working, hopefully over the coming years to accomplish that.
One thing on the other side of the road, the side that gets flooded with the riverside, Don't a lot of people use that as entrance to the river to kayak and
They
things
do.
like that?
Yeah. There is a small soccer field on that side.
Yep.
That would be outside of the scope of the big improvements, but it doesn't make sense to do construction on that side of the river because it does flood quite often. But yeah, there are a number of people who use that to launch canoes.
I've heard that's a good spot. People have told me to go there.
There's actually a canoe race on 4th of July. There's a small canoe race that takes place over there with probably under 50 people or so. But they base it out of that boat launch there.
As long as they stay away from the rapids.
Yeah, no, they
I'm
go
always
north.
afraid
They go
you're
up
going
toward
to
the
end
Flower
up
Bridge.
all the way down there and be like, I'm stuck out here. A couple other little parks, Meadow Pond Park and Town Forest. What's going on with either of those?
So Town Forest Park, the pond, many
Dredging?
people, it's going to get dredged this summer, actually fairly soon. That work's going to start. That basically clean it out and make the pond healthier for the aquatic life that lives there, and it'll clean out the branches and some of the debris that's been in there. But it will make it more, for those who like to swim outdoors or like to pond swim, that pond will be a little bit cleaned up for that.
Okay.
There's no plans to lifeguard it at this point, but once that dredging work's done for next season, we'll break the beach a little bit more often to kind of loosen up the soil there. We do have hopes of improving the playground over there. That would be the next project. One I skipped was at Weetog Park. We are hoping to install a new playground later this fall.
So is that part of the playground fund?
It is, yeah.
Nice.
So it's already, we've got funds. We're working with the designer to do some get the cost down a little bit to something we feel a little bit more comfortable with. But the idea is that playground that's in the back of the park at Weetog Park now, it's not very accessible and it's kind of hidden back there. Our plan is to move that playground closer to the parking lot.
Without interfering with like you have football there, right?
So it won't be on the football field or the lacrosse field. It'd be kind of in between the corner of the football field and the softball field. Yeah. But it's closer to the parking area, which makes it much more accessible. And I'm kind of giving you some news here, but it's going to be we're calling it, the tentative name for it is Heroes Playground. So it's going to be themed equipment with police, fire, and police, fire, and ambulance kind of theming to it, since it's right next door to the fire station.
Yeah, they practice out there.
And they do their training there.
Yeah.
So we thought it'd be kind of a nice way to honor those in our community who volunteer and serve on serve those missions to protect us and keep us safe, while also installing the new playground that more people will be able to use. And again, Weetog Park's got a playground there that's been there over 20 years, and it's aged out. So the town has set up a fund every year where a little bit of money gets set aside for playground maintenance and playground renovations, and this is the next project in that scope.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I remember going out to Weetog Park, but it was a schlep to get out there with your little, if you had a stroller or something.
It is. It's difficult, and for those who may have mobility issues or a child with mobility issues, it's a tough way to get out there. So.
And so I guess one last thing I'm going to bring up, you just held an informational center. So those of us who used to go up to Memorial Pool for the sprinkler pool and swimming up there, the board funded a design feasibility study, that's the right word, to see what options we had up there, because you can talk a little bit about it, but and one of the options is to renovate the bathhouse, make that up to code, and also put in a splash pad. So there's a lot of people in town for the splash pad. There's a lot of people in town who may not be for the splash pad as the best use of town resources. So if you want to give just a quick kind of conversation on where that is.
Sure. So the feasibility study is looking at we have a pool that was built in 1957. Obviously, as we all age, things don't work as well as they used to. And the town has not made any major improvements to that pool or decking in most of those 57 years. There was some mechanical work done at one point, but the shell is in rough shape, the decking is in rough shape. The building had a renovation in 1983, but you're going on almost 42 years at this point, or quite a ways back. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that building. It's not what would be considered ADA accessible at this point in time. And looking at the town's finances and knowing what other there's a lot of infrastructure between the Board of Ed and the town that needs to be done. If you were to rebuild that facility, both the building and the pool now, as new now, it would probably be $3 to $4 million. That's a lot of money. When we did a master plan, went through the master planning process in 2020, when a lot of community members had a chance to give some feedback and complete some surveys and participate in focus groups, the item that came back, and this is 5 years ago now, was the trend in splash pads, and everybody wanted a splash pad. Well, Memorial Pool, and another need was also indoor bathrooms at one of our busiest parks, both Simsbury Meadows and at Memorial Park. Last night,
a lot of baseball, softball games and portalettes.
You look at a night like last night, all 4 fields are being used at the same time. You know, you might have over 1,000 people on site, or close to 1,000 people on site using portalettes, and portalettes aren't the ideal situation during the summer months. No. Especially getting heavy use throughout the year. So, you know, what we're looking at is what's the best option for Memorial Pool. You know, my personal feeling is I don't know that the town can afford a $3 to $4 million brand new pool up there. It would be great to have a splash pad and a pool. From an operational standpoint, with future maintenance and staffing a facility there, you know, minimum wage now is significant, and you know that pool when it's open is staffed by 8 to 10 lifeguards per shift. All working at the same time. When we bring day camp up there or anticipating public, you know, when there was public up there, you know, in 2 years, the minimum wage is going to be close to $20 an hour. That's a significant amount of money, ongoing money. Electric costs are not what they used to be. I mean, anybody who opens their bill at home knows it's double or triple what you were paying a few years ago. So imagine that, you know, on a much larger scale to operate a pool over there. So, you know, we're looking at those kind of things and being sensitive to the town's budget and what's best for the town long term, and being responsive to what the needs were identified in that master plan. So we're hoping that, you know, they'll come back with a design through this feasibility study or some options that say, hey, this is what a splash pad that, you know, you guys think would attract people. These are the improvements that need to be made to the building to make it useful for the public to use as indoor restrooms up there. These are the improvements that need to be made from a parking standpoint to make the parking accessible to those who need it. And so that work will continue through the summer. We hope to come back with another public information session in mid to late August. That hopefully will be held at the Simsbury Library, and people will have a chance to give some feedback then. You know, we've heard from a lot of people who want a splash pad. We've also heard from people who want to keep Memorial Pool or have a swimming option for the day camp or after work swim lessons, and you know the decision makers in town have to weigh all those things.
It's a tough decision.
It is a tough decision. You have a great facility up there. But it's a facility that something has to be done. We can't continue to operate it the way it is right now. And there's a lot of maintenance issues that can't be just addressed through a couple of Band-Aids or a few $1,000s of new piping. It's if you're going to do any kind of renovation, you're basically building as new up there.
So what I'm going to ask the public is to pay attention to projects like that, because your voice matters, because that's how we spend town money, capital dollars, prioritize projects, and pay attention to that, because we need to hear from the public, right? We don't want to make the wrong decisions. We're here to represent the public. So just keep tuned into all that kind of stuff. So where I'm going to go right now is I'm going to say, if you want to go hit the road and maybe show a couple of these places that we talked about to people. And we'll just stop right there, and we'll see you in a bit. Here we are at the new Terrafil pickleball courts, Tom and I. And we just wanted to give you a little glimpse into what's going on here. Tom, can you tell me why that's called Cushan Court?
So, yes, Phil and Charlotte Cushan were basically the people who brought pickleball to Simsbury and kind of started organizing the groups in town. Just the nicest couple in the world, big supporters of this project as we've kind of gone through. And just we thought it'd be a nice gesture to name, just kind of put a little sign over Court 1 here to recognize their efforts in helping get this pickleball court built.
That's awesome. And we're going to have a ribbon cutting on
Wednesday, July 16th at 10 a.m. will be the ribbon cutting. And we're still open at this point, but it's just a nice ceremony to just to recognize the people who helped bring this project in and let more people know that, hey, it's out here.
And we're going to just say that the reason nobody's playing is because it's really hot and humid. So that's the excuse, because the courts have been full pretty much every day when it's not 100 degrees, which it has been quite a bit. And the other thing you pointed out, that on the side walls are the rules.
Yep, we have the rules posted. And if anybody's interested in reserving a court, you can only play at a certain day and time. You can go to our website at simsburyrec.com and reserve a court up to 2 weeks in advance. And we charge $6 an hour. Most people tend to play for an hour, hour and a half. So it's pretty low cost. You split that by 4 people, and it's a small price to pay to get that privilege and make sure the court's available when you get here.
Okay, that sounds great. I think since we're here, we're going to take a walk over to the softball courts and softball fields, sorry, and see to show a few improvements that are over there. We decided to stop over at the softball field to show you some of the improvements that are here. New backstop.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, we put this new backstop in here. It's safer for the players. The other one had lasted about 30 years. It was all rusted out. We've also put a brand new infield in here last fall. Again, safer for the players. It was a cooperative project between the Simsbury Co-ed Softball League and the town of Simsbury. And this field gets quite a bit of use from April to the end of July every year.
I want to say that I played a lot of co-ed softball when I worked at the Travelers. They had a big co-ed league. I was a first baseman, but the fields we played at Cole Park did not look this nice. But this is really beautiful. What position did you play?
I played third base.
Okay, that's it.
Third base through high school. Third base through high school, and when I started playing co-ed softball here.
That's a tough position. Yeah. My son played it in baseball, but not a position
Quick
I would.
Reflexes.
Yeah, you got to be fast and you got to have a good arm.
Yeah. I stopped playing because my arm wasn't good anymore. So.
Okay. Anything else we should know about the field here? Or?
No, it's a quiet place down here. You're away from the traffic, and we hope to do some more improvements with the pavilion, and hopefully maybe even improve some river views back there. So there's more to come here, folks. Keep your eyes open.
Yeah, we have money. We're doing a Terrafil plan. The town's doing one, so we really are going to be looking at everything in Terrafil and the park too. So I think we're going to move over to try to hit the farms. Yeah. So we'll see you over there. So we're here at Simsbury Farms, and Tom, tell us what's going on out there.
Wendy, this is one of the best days of the summer here. It's one of the foam party sessions we have. We'll do a couple of these throughout the summer, and it's basically a lot of cool music for the kids. And we have actually a cannon that shoots foam that the kids can play in. And you can see over there, they're having a great time doing it. This is one of the events that our aquatic supervisor, rec supervisor John Chivo does, and this is one of his favorite events too. And you can see how popular. It's one of the more popular days here at the pool. Right now, you got kids out there in tubes. You got kids and parents using their noodles. The diving pool's busy. The training pool's busy. It's just another great day at Simsbury Farms in the summertime.
It's kind of making me want to start coming back here. Now that my kids are grown, I don't come, but it's really a nice pool.
We do fun for all ages here. We have passes for seniors. We have passes for families. Individuals can buy passes. You're in that individual group, so you can buy a pass. And, it's a beautiful view. You got the mountain and the golf course in the background. And it's just Simsbury Farms. It's a great place to play.
It's awesome. And there's a waiting kiddie pool also around the corner that you can't see. So everybody of all ages can come out here, swim, hang out. Moms can sit around and chit chat if they want, and there's a snack bar right down below us.
We even have the lounges for people to lounge in, so we provide those too. So first come, first serve.
I didn't have those when I was a mom.
No, that's one of John's improvements that we've done over the years.
That's pretty impressive. One question: what is the foam made out of?
It's water and some kind of a non-detergent-y sofa. Yeah, so whatever makes bubbles.
I was just curious. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to check out Simsbury Farms, and I'm happy that you guys could come see this with us. Now Tom and I are on the 18th hole at Simsbury Farms Golf Course, and we just wanted you guys to see how beautiful it is. You want to say anything out here, Tom?
No, I mean, this is our signature hole. It's the 18th hole at Simsbury Farms Golf Course, and we've done last year we did 45,000 rounds of golf here, and it's just a big economic draw for the town. People come here from all over the place to play at the beautiful Simsbury Farms. And if you're interested in buying a season pass, our residents can buy a discounted season pass at the golf course or simsburyfarms.com on the golf website.
Yeah, and if you point over to that way, that's the 10th hole, the first hole, and then we have a fabulous driving range over there, clubhouse, restaurant.
And you get beautiful views all year round up here.
So we felt it was worth taking a ride out here since we're up at the pool, but with that, we're gonna just see you back in the studio. Thanks for taking us around town to a couple of locations.
You're welcome.
We're back in the studio, and I wanted to now ask you a few personal questions so people get to know who the real Tom Taberski is or know you a little bit better. I think that you're always an open and easy person to talk to. And because this show is called After Hours, I hate to just stick to business. We joked last time, is there a way we could add a little cocktail hour here? Like Hoda and what was
Kathy Lee.
Yeah, whatever. We'll work that out for the next season if we get renewed. So one thing I want to ask you, which I know is you are a big UConn fan. Tell me, like, why you love UConn.
I've loved UConn since I was in middle school when Jim Calhoun came to coach the Huskies and got to kind of follow the building of the program. That's been fantastic. I just had my youngest daughter just graduated from UConn last year with a degree in political science and global studies, and she's now a paralegal in New York City. And
that's
she'll
cool.
be going to law school next year, and I have a future Husky doctor at the medical school right now, and we're so proud of her as well. And so we've got a strong connection, and we enjoy going to the games and both following both the men and women. And my wife was a big athlete in college and in high school and played Division I basketball. So she follows. So we like.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Division I field hockey and Division I basketball.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you are an athletic family.
Well, they are.
Well, I was going to say you are a runner.
I am. I started running seriously a couple of years ago. I just recently completed the Simsbury half marathon, Iron Horse half marathon, and the Mystic half marathon this year. And so I think I've done a little over a half dozen now. My goal is to do a full marathon at some point, and age is making it harder and harder to get to that goal. But I'm competitive for my age group, so I'm proud of that, and just hoping to get a little bit more competitive.
Have you done a marathon?
Not yet. I was hoping to do New York City this year, but my training's been sidetracked with some injuries.
So my daughter, who was never a runner in high school, is qualified for the 26 New York Marathon.
Wow. That's a big accomplishment. Those aren't easy.
I know. They've been going to so many events.
Yeah, my goal is to do Boston before hopefully before I turn 55. My goal was to do it before 50. Didn't get there. Started running pretty much seriously at 50, but I am hoping to qualify. I don't want to just do it through the charity, which is great.
Yeah.
I want to qualify, and my times for the half are there. It's just a matter of getting that last 6 miles in.
Yeah. Yep.
I built up to about 18, 19 miles this past spring and was on pace, but my leg injuries just slow you down. So I'm hoping to do it.
Well, I hope you get there. That would be really exciting.
It would be cool. It would be really neat.
Okay, this is a question I asked Tom Roy, because I think the three of us are lifelong Connecticut residents. Where did you go to high school? Where did you grow up?
I went to East Grimby High School.
Okay.
I graduated with 39 kids. At that time, I knew it was basically growing up with the same kids. Everybody's like brother and sister. I knew I have siblings who are a little bit younger than me, but
how many siblings?
I have a brother and sister who are both younger.
Okay.
And so when I graduated high school, I knew pretty much everybody in the high school by name, and I knew where everybody lived.
Okay. Well, it's so small.
It's so small. So it's kind of a unique story. And then when you go away to college, I mean, I didn't go to a big school, but it's shocking. Like all of a sudden you're immersed in a bunch of people you see, that you're in classes with people you don't know. Or
yeah.
I basically grew up with everybody in all my classes, and so it's much different than even what Simsbury High School is. So, but yeah, I grew up in East Grimby. I was there till almost age 25, and then we've kind of went from Windsor Locks to Windsor to Granby, and then back to Windsor. So.
Okay, and then I asked Tom Roy this question too. I hope people aren't boring with these questions, but they're good questions. Like, what was the best trip you've taken recently, or somewhere you would like to go? So,
my wife and I have started doing some cruises the last couple of years. I love the Caribbean. I love waking up every day in a different. You
like a cruise?
I do.
Okay, because it's not for everyone. That's what I've been told.
I really like the fact that I can get up every day and see a new place. We actually just booked one last year for this coming February, and we're going to do 10-day cruise and hit 6 different islands, and 4 of them I haven't been to before.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super excited. We're going through the process now of like booking our excursions and things like that, and that's fun in itself. It's just like, what kind of cool activity do we want to do that day? And we're going to be in Barbados the night of the Super Bowl, and so hopefully watching the Cowboys win on a big screen out on top of the boat would be dream.
Yeah, okay. So. Well, I hope that happens. Not really, because we have Giants fans at my house. But anyway, go ahead. And then, that was it. And anywhere you want to go, is there anywhere else?
I'm hoping we want to go to Alaska, and we want to go to the Mediterranean. Those are on the bucket list going forward for after this cruise is done.
We always talk about, some people are cruise averse in our family, but my husband would love to do an Alaska cruise, and that probably would be the one cruise that I would do.
I've never heard anybody say a negative thing about
That's what
the
I've
Alaska
heard
cruise.
too. So, and then as a music lover, I like to ask everybody, you know, what kind of music you listen to, and does it change, or who are you listening to today?
I don't listen to a lot of new music, to be honest with you. I do a lot of sports radio, but when I'm running or mowing the lawn, it's I have an 80s playlist. I am truly a kid of the 80s. I love 80s music.
Like give me some bands that you liked in the 80s.
Journey.
Okay. Foreigner? Did you like?
Not so much Foreigner. Van Halen. I'm all over the place.
Oh, okay. That's
Pop
funny.
and rock. I go back and forth. I like rap. Rap. But yeah, all 80s. Even Ozzy Osbourne now. I'm like, there's a lot of Ozzy tunes that are in my playlist. There's some Whitney Houston in my playlist. So yeah, all over the place. But if it's generally 80s music, from 82 on, I'm pretty much into it.
Is that why the party at the first party at the park was 80s music?
Yeah, if you go to any of our special events, if I have control of the speaker and before the event starts, you'll hear the music. It's usually an 80s playlist playing.
That's funny. I'm all over the place too, music-wise, but there's just so much good music from forever. And then I'll just end with if you have a bucket list item.
For
you. Yeah, just something. Work for Simsbury forever. Is that?
if career-wise. Well,
not even career. Social-wise, whatever.
Social-wise. Well, obviously, I want to see both my kids do well. And hopefully see my. At some point, they're both very career-oriented at this point. Love to see grandkids and can't wait to go to my grandkids' first.
Really?
Sports game, whatever it is. My wife and I chose to start our family young because we wanted to be active grandparents, and we want to be I'm doing a lot of this exercising now because I want to be in great shape to be able to run around with my grandkids. But long term, we would love to at some point in the future buy a house on a lake or by the ocean. We want to be near the water, and I can't think of anything better than kind of looking out at the morning and seeing a boat sail by or hearing the
over
waves.
Your morning coffee.
Yeah, well, I'm not a coffee drinker, but the interesting fact, I've never had a sip of coffee in my life. The smell of coffee doesn't agree with me.
Does your wife drink coffee?
She does.
Okay.
So
I think that's why I like her.
Every morning I could smell it as I come down the stars and kind of just hold my nose for a little while.
Oh no.
But to wake up every morning or watching the sunset over the water would be that to me that'd be I've hit it perfect if I've gotten to that point.
That would be nice. It sounds really good. We're actually going away soon, and I'm looking forward to just coffee by the water or cocktail by the water, something by the water.
Margarita at sunset sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I'm going to end there. I want to thank you for being a great guest. Shake your hand again, and I'll see you around town.
I look forward to it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tom, and happy 4th.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
For over 40 years, SCM has been the voice of our town,
bringing us together through local programming,
education,
and live broadcasts.
SCM isn't just about television.
It's about empowering our community,
ensuring our voices are heard during government meetings,
and celebrating milestones
like our high school graduations.
But today, SCM faces a challenge.
Our funding structure is based on television subscriptions.
And it's no secret, people have been cutting the cord.
With a shift to internet-only subscriptions,
SCM receives less revenue,
even though all our programming is freely available online.
We need your support.
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 Your donation can make a difference.
It will ensure that SCM remains open,
continues to educate our youth,
and keeps our community informed.
Thanks to SCM, I've been honing my creative skills, helping me work towards my college degree.
SCM is crucial for keeping our community connected.
SCM isn't just here to broadcast local events. They're actually preserving Simsbury's history.
Join us in preserving Simsbury's voice.
Simsbury's voice.
Together we can ensure that SCM continues to thrive
for generations to come.
Visit our website
or scan the QR code on your screen to make your donation.
Every contribution
counts.
Thank you for supporting Simsbury Community Media,
where your town,
your schools,
and your government
come together.